Welcome to the quiz show that demands nothing less than perfection. Behind this screen, the four contestants will be hoping their knowledge is flawless because one single mistake could give the game away. This is perfection. Hello and welcome to Perfection, the quiz show where only perfect play is good enough. Behind me are the contestants. We call them the usual suspects. They're in our isolation room. In a moment, we'll find out which one of them has been randomly selected to join me here to play Perfection. They will then face a series of true or false statements. For example, if I said the melting point of gold is over 1,000 degrees Celsius, would you say that's true or false? Well, if you'd said true, I can tell you you'd be right. Answering true or false might seem easy, but if the contestant gets a single answer wrong, their opponents, the usual suspects, will be allowed into the game to capitalise on their mistakes. And each usual suspect will play a maximum of 8 games, so they will need to think carefully and strategically about how to play the perfect game and when to come down to help. So, you know how the game works. Let's meet the usual suspects.
Hi, I'm Albert. I'm from London. I'm a retired school teacher, and this is my first game.
Hi, I'm Beth. I'm from Oldham. I'm a beauty advisor and this is my 3rd game.
Hi, I'm Kyle. I live in Manchester. I'm a territory manager for a medical device company and this is my 4th game.
Hi, I'm Phil. I'm from Walsall. I'm a business intelligence developer and this is my 5th game.
Best of luck to all of you as we now find out which one of you has been randomly picked to play Perfection. Albert, it's you. Please come down and join me. Albert, welcome to the game. Let's have a little chat and find out a bit more about you. I'm fascinated by your background, especially some bits and bobs in it, because you work in the communications industry, is that?
I did, yes.
But you had some specialist knowledge of encryption?
That's right.
Which sounds very James Bond.
It is, certainly.
Is that right?
I had one meeting in Aldershot
Yes.
with the Argentinian Director of Naval Intelligence. That's how close it was to James Bond.
Is that right? So you
Yes.
did a bit of secret work? And,
Yes.
And now telling everybody on TV for the nation to know that's probably not part of the rules, is it?
Well, I'm not revealing who it was I actually met.
All right, fair enough then. Well, it's now you, Albert, versus the usual suspects. They were your teammates very briefly. They're now your enemies. Their job is to stop you from winning the prize fund because your failure will mean the prize money rolls over to the next game where one of them could be sitting here playing for a bigger total. Every game on Perfection is worth £1,000. Now, unfortunately for you, the previous game was won, so the prize fund is reset to £1,000. But if you think about it, come in, play a game, walk away with £1,000. Very decent day's work, that, isn't it?
Can't be bad.
Yeah. Have you got earmarked something to do with £1,000?
I'll probably spend some of it on my wife, some of it on my daughter.
That'd be nice. All right, here's how the game works. You'll play 3 rounds and then a final. Each round that you achieve perfection will make the final easier for you. However, if your performance is anything less than perfect, the usual suspects here will have a chance to step in and steal the round for you, making the final much harder. More of that to follow later. Usual suspects, we're going to switch you off for now so you can't see or hear anything. But when they're like this, you can talk through your answers without giving away any vital knowledge. Each round consists of 4 true or false statements. You'll be answering against the clock. You'll only have 45 seconds. And once you've given an answer, your first answer, it will be locked in. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Then let's play Perfection. Round 1, your 45 seconds start now. The Meaning of Life is a film by the Monty Python team.
That's correct, so that's true.
True. Rhode Island Red is a breed of chicken.
I have chickens, that's true.
True. Richard Kilty is a British sprinter.
I haven't heard of him, so I'm going to say false.
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 And finally, Horatio Nelson features on a UK banknote.
I have a feeling that's true.
True. And with time to spare, you've answered all 4 statements. How was that?
Very good.
Happy with that?
Very happy.
All right. Before we reveal how well you've done, it's time for us to get back the usual suspects. So, usual suspects, these are the 4 statements, and next to them are Albert's answers. Phil, start us off. Has he achieved perfection?
Bit of a tricky board, to be honest. There's nothing jumping out that I'd change, so it could be either way, really.
Kyle?
No, he doesn't have perfection, I'm afraid. Richard Kilty, he is a British sprinter. He won the world indoor 60 metres.
Interesting. Beth, what do you think?
Yeah, I have to agree with that as well, so I would change C.
Albert, the moment of truth. You need to have answered all 4 statements perfectly to have won the round. Let's find out how many are correct. Just 2 out of 4, certainly not perfection, and you've let your enemies, the usual suspects, into the game. Can you steal the round? You can see Albert's answers. You need to change 2 of them. Which 2?
I've got a feeling that A is correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
And D, that Horatio Nelson is on one of the Scottish banknotes.
Is he? I should probably know that then, shouldn't I?
Is he? I don't know.
Is he? I don't know why he would be though. That's is he?
It's a tricky one, isn't it? Let's change C from false,
yeah.
false to true first of all.
C changes from false to true. We need one other.
Should we change D?
We'll change D, yeah?
We'll go for it.
Yeah,
We don't
okay.
know. Yeah, we'll change D from true to false, please, Nick.
D changes from true to false, leaving A and B as answered by Albert. Usual suspects, let's find out what the correct answers are. If the statement turns green, it's true. If it turns red, it's false. The Meaning of Life is a film by the Monty Python team. Is that true or false? Yes, it is. Absolutely true. Rhode Island Red is a breed of chicken. Is that true or false? It's true. Richard Kilty is a British sprinter. True or false? True. And Horatio Nelson features on a UK banknote. Is that true or false? It's false. Congratulations, usual suspects. You have achieved perfection. Yeah, Horatio Nelson's never featured on a UK banknote, which is rather surprising given his fame. All right, so, Albert, they managed to succeed where you failed and they've stolen the round. Usual suspects, you now have the opportunity to make Albert's chances of winning the prize fund much harder in the final, and here's how. Albert, appearing before you is your final board. These 6 blank spaces need to be filled with subject categories. Here are your final round category options, starting with 80s music, running through Greek, onto onions, and further on to Zambia, with many more in between. Now, if you'd have won that round, you would have the opportunity of adding 2 categories of your choice to the board, but because the usual suspects stole it from you, they get to choose 2 subjects, hoping to make life difficult for you in the final. So, which 2 would you like, usual suspects?
Are we all thinking Victoria Beckham?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll go for Victoria Beckham, please, Nick.
Victoria Beckham?
80s
80s music or Scotland, maybe? Maybe 80s music.
Yeah, we'll
I
go
think
for that.
especially 80s.
Yeah.
80s music, please, Nick.
80s music. OK, that makes it into the final. Well done, usual suspects. Time to switch you off. We'll see you in round 2. Right, now they've gone, we can have a little chat about that.
I grew up in the 80s with the 80s music, the disco and stuff, so
There's no reason why you shouldn't know about that. Is it Victoria Beckham?
not so hot, but
Let's have a look at those in the list, shall we? Which 2 will you be choosing if you get the opportunity?
I think Bugs Bunny, I love Bugs Bunny,
OK.
and Doctor Who.
And 2 you're quite keen to avoid.
Probably Scarlet Pimpernel and Zambia.
All right, then. Well, Albert, it's still only the first round. You still have 2 more rounds to find perfection and choose your own categories for the final. Were you ready to carry on?
Yes, I am.
Then let's play round 2. Your 45 seconds starts now. The Welsh alphabet contains 52 letters.
I can't believe that. That must be false.
False. Courtney Love was married to Michael Hutchins.
I believe that's false.
False. Fishguard is an English port.
I thought that's a Welsh port. That's false.
False. And finally, the word definitely is an adverb.
True.
True. And with time to spare, you've answered all 4 statements. How was that?
That was nerve-wracking.
Was it really? In with a chance of perfection?
I'd say I'd be very lucky if I had perfection.
Really? OK. Before we reveal exactly how well you've done, it's time to bring back the usual suspects. Righto, usual suspects. Let's find out what's going on here. Kyle, do you think he's achieved perfection?
I think he may well have here. They're the answers that I would have given anyway.
Interesting. Beth, can you see anything wrong with these?
I think A might be wrong. Something's telling me that there is 52 for some reason.
All right, Phil, what do you think?
I think it's perfection as well, to be honest.
Albert, vote of confidence, predominantly from the usual suspects. Let's find out how many are correct. Congratulations, Albert, you have achieved perfection. Well, let's have a look at those statements and answers in a little more detail. The Welsh alphabet contains 52 letters. That is, of course, false. 28. It's a bit complicated, to be honest. Definitely not 52. That's the main thing. Courtney Love was married to Michael Hutchins. True or false? False. Kurt Cobain was her first husband. Fishguard is an English port. You said this was false, and it absolutely is false because it's a very famous Welsh port. The word definitely is an adverb. And of course it is true. Very well done, Albert. As a result of that perfect performance, you've made winning the prize fund of £1,000 a little easier. Let's see your final board. Usual Suspects sort of technically in the lead at the moment, having chosen 2 of your categories, but you could equalise now by choosing 2 categories of your own to go into the final.
I think my first category will be Bugs Bunny.
Bugs Bunny goes in.
And because I love science fiction, it'll be Doctor Who next.
And Doctor Who goes into the final. Usual Suspects grinning away there. Is that because you had an idea that's where he was going, or you're surprised?
I'm surprised with Bugs Bunny.
Yeah, interesting, isn't it, what people choose? All right, Usual Suspects, time to switch you off. We'll see you in round 3. It's got them thinking, hasn't it? Albert, well done. By choosing your own categories, you've hopefully made winning the prize fund that little bit easier. Great idea if you can win the last round and be in control of that so that they can't choose the nasty ones for you. Ready to carry on?
Ready.
Let's play round 3. Your 45 seconds start now. In Indian cookery, a chapati is a type of dip.
I thought it was bread, so that would be false.
False. Send in the Clowns is a song from Cabaret.
I don't believe it was, so I'm going to say false again.
False. There is more gravity on Jupiter than on Earth.
That is correct.
So you're saying
True.
true. And finally, the Volga is Africa's longest river.
I don't think it is, so I'm going to say false.
False. And again, with time to spare, you've answered all 4. Sorry to be pedantic about the word on C there. It's just that I could only accept true or false as answers.
I understand.
Sounded like a very confident round to me. Happy with that?
I'm very happy.
Good. Before we reveal exactly how well you've done, it's time to bring back the Usual Suspects. So here are the 4 statements, and next to them are Albert's answers. Beth, you get to start us off this time. Is that perfection?
I think it is, actually. I think he's been either quite lucky or he's quite knowledgeable there, really.
Yeah. Kyle, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with Beth. I think he has got perfection there.
Phil?
It looks good to me. I'm not sure about B, but yeah, looks good.
They think you've got perfection. Moment of truth. Let's find out how many are correct. Congratulations, Albert, you have achieved perfection. Well, to be honest, after a rough first round, you've cleaned up, haven't you, really? Let's take a look at those in more detail. In Indian cookery, a chapati is a type of dip. You said this was false because you thought it was a bread, and of course it is false because a chapati is, as you said, a type of flat bread. Send in the Clowns is a song from Cabaret. True or false? You said false, and it is false. It's from A Little Night Music. There is more gravity on Jupiter than on Earth. You said you were sure this was true, and of course it is true. 2.5 times more gravity, in actual fact. The Volga is Africa's longest river. True or false? You said this was false, and it is, of course, false, because it's Europe's longest river, not in Africa at all. Albert, as a result of that perfect performance, you've made winning the prize fund a lot easier. Let's have a look at the final board. Even Stephen at the moment, with 2 subject categories chosen by the Usual Suspects and 2 chosen by yourself. But because of your success in round 3, you get to choose the last 2 to add to the board. So, what would you like?
I'm going to go for Ocean Life.
Ocean Life goes in.
And I feel a little bit of Greek.
Greek goes in. All right, we now know our 6 final categories. They are Victoria Beckham, 80s music, Bugs Bunny, Doctor Who, Ocean Life, and Greek. What an interesting board that is. It's time to switch off the Usual Suspects for the last time. Not often you'll see a group of subjects like that together, is it?
No.
Albert, for £1,000, it's time to play the final. Albert, this is the all-important final. If you get achieve perfection, you could be leaving with a prize fund of £1,000. If you fail, you'll be leaving with nothing, which would be great news for the Usual Suspects, as one of them could be playing for a rollover of £2,000 on the next show. Let's play the final round. Albert, here are your 6 final categories. Now, you must answer all 6 statements correctly if you want to win the £1,000. Think carefully, there's no time limit, but once you've given an answer, your first answer, it will be locked in. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Then let's reveal your first statement. Please tell me whether you believe it to be true or false. Victoria Beckham. Vera Wang designed Victoria Beckham's wedding dress.
Well, Vera Wang and Victoria Beckham are very closely linked, so I would say that's probably true.
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 80s music. All Cried Out was an 80s hit for Alison Moyet.
That's definitely true.
True. Bugs Bunny. Bugs Bunny's girlfriend is called Jessica.
That's false.
False. Doctor Who. Peter Capaldi is the 10th incarnation of the Doctor.
I'm going to say false.
False. Ocean life. A wobbegong is a type of shark.
That's so ridiculous it could be true. I'm going to say true.
True. And finally, Greek. Iota is a letter in the Greek alphabet.
False.
False. And with that, you've answered all 6 statements, and those answers are locked in. Remember, if there's one single mistake, you leave with nothing. So which ones are you worried about?
I'm not worried, actually. Maybe a little concerned about D.
Lovely. Let's bring back the usual suspects to see what they've got to say. Usual suspects, you can now see the final 6 statements, and next to them are Albert's answers. Albert, your answers are now locked in, and you can't change them by yourself. But if you think you may have made a mistake, you can open up the board with the help of the usual suspects. However, this will come at a cost. Usual suspects, I'm now going to ask you to tell me how well you think Albert has done, if you want to help, and if you do, how much it will cost. Albert, who would you like to hear from first?
Let's go from left to right. Could we have Beth first, please?
I'm going to be honest, I'm not 100% sure on all of them, and I'm going to be even more honest, I want it to roll over, so I want to rule myself out.
Let's go for Carl next, please.
I think there's one that you've got wrong. There's a couple of others I'm not that sure on, so I won't be coming down, I'm afraid, Albert.
Fair enough. So that leaves Phil.
I can see one that's wrong again, but there's not enough to split, to be honest, so sorry, I'm out.
Looks like negotiations are
It does,
over,
doesn't it?
and you are on your own. £1,000 at stake, 6 answers away, and let's find out if you've achieved perfection. OK, if the statement turns green, it's true. If it turns red, it's false. D, you said that you were the most worried about. Well, let's start at the top and see how we get along, shall we? Vera Wang designed Victoria Beckham's wedding dress. You said that you were aware that they were close, and so it wouldn't surprise you at all when you went with true. If this turns green, you're off to a good start. Is it true or false? Yes, it is true. Very well done. All Cried Out was an 80s hit for Alison Moyet. You smiled as soon as this came up as a question, and you were confident the answer is true. Is it true or false? It is true. Bugs Bunny, you chose for yourself. Bugs Bunny's girlfriend is called Jessica. You said that was false. You know this is going to turn red. No big surprise. True or false? Yes, it's false. She's called Lola, of course, his girlfriend. So as quickly as that, you are halfway to the £1,000 on your own. It looks like you didn't need the help of the usual suspects. Let's move on. This is the one that you were worried about. Peter Capaldi. Not because you don't know about Doctor Who. I guess the thing you're worried about is...
Was he the 10th?
Yes, it's which one was he? So Peter Capaldi is the 10th incarnation of the Doctor. You had to think about this and decided in the end that it was false. We need this to turn red. If it does, you're just 2 away from winning £1,000 all on your own. Peter Capaldi is the 10th incarnation of the Doctor. True or false? False. Very well thought through. He is, in fact, the 12th incarnation of the Doctor, not including Peter Cushing or John Hurt. All right, so a wobbegong is a type of shark. Now, this is one of those ones where you said, well, it sounds daft enough that it just might be true. So you went with true. If this turns green, you're 1 away from the £1,000. A wobbegong is a type of shark. Is that true or false? It's true. Another name for a carpet shark, in actual fact. OK, then. We have one more to go to. Iota is a letter in the Greek alphabet. You said this was false. If this turns red, extraordinary, having waited so long for a big winner, which happened at the end of the last show, you'll have come in and we'll have back-to-back winners. And you'll be walking out of here with £1,000. If, however, it turns green, the money rolls over for the usual suspects, which is what they were all hoping. You got perfection twice during the rounds. Here you are with 5 out of 6 in the final. Iota is a letter in the Greek alphabet. You said false. You need this to turn red. Is it true or false for £1,000? It's true, I'm afraid. It is, in fact, the 9th letter of the Greek alphabet. Usual suspects, great news for you. The prize fund rolls over to the next game, where one of you could be playing for a total of £2,000. Albert, bad luck. You played very well. You had a couple of really great rounds and 5 out of 6 in the end there. Of course, it means you failed to achieve perfection. You won't be going home with any cash, but you will be going home with our thanks for playing such a great game. I hope you enjoyed it.
I have indeed. It's been a great experience, Nick.
Smash it. Let's hear it for Albert, everybody. Well, it's time to meet our next usual suspect, hoping to play perfection today. Usual suspect, please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name's Graham. I'm from Rye in East Sussex, and I'm a self-employed joiner.
Welcome, Graham, and best of luck to all of you as we now find out which one of you has been randomly picked to play perfection. Kyle, it's you. Please come down and join me. Kyle, welcome to the game. You're originally from Scotland.
I am indeed, yes, near Dundee.
And you're related... Or you claim to be related. Yeah, I should say that, really.
Yeah.
So you're someone very, very famous, and probably the most famous living Scotsman, I'd have thought. Well, difficult. There's a couple, aren't there? But
yeah, it's a close one. Yeah, my grand's second cousin is Sean Connery. It's Mr. Bond.
was that?
Yep. So yeah, quite distant, because he's now twice removed from me. But it's a good claim to fame to have. It's someone that everybody knows when you mention.
Fantastic. OK, well, let's get on. Carl, it's now you versus the usual suspects. They were your teammates. They're now very definitely your enemies. Here's the good news. Nobody won the last game, so the prize fund currently stands at £2,000. Claiming you're going to win the £2,000, so what do you have in mind to spend it on?
Probably a holiday, to be honest with you, Nick. Big F1 fan as well, so maybe try and visit Montreal for the Grand Prix there. Perhaps that'd be quite a good.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it? And then head off into the old hinterland and see what's going on.
See what's going on there.
Very nice, all right. 3 rounds and a final to come. Usual suspects, so we're going to switch you off for now so you can't see or hear anything. But as soon as Carl makes a mistake, you'll be back in the game. Carl, when they're like this, you can talk through your answers without giving away any vital knowledge, all right? You ready?
Yep, ready. Let's go.
Then let's play perfection. Round 1, your 45 seconds start now. Churchill gave the famous Winds of Change speech.
Now, I've heard of that. Whether it was him or not, let's go true.
True. In rugby union, a conversion is worth 1 point.
No, I believe a conversion is worth 2 points, so I'm going to say false.
False. Tony Blair's middle name is Lionel.
Tony Blair, Lionel Blair, I don't think it is. I'll go false for that one.
False. And finally, lunes is the Spanish word for Monday.
I don't know Spanish. I know French.
Need an answer?
I'll go for true.
True. I kind of thought you were in control of that and you could see it ticking away, but I wasn't.
Yeah, I seen I had a bit of time left and wanted to make sure that.
How was that then as a round?
Not great. There's one that I know I've got right anyway, so let's just focus on that. The rest are educated guesses.
Well, that can work sometimes, can't it?
Might be embarrassment, but we'll find out.
Well, before we reveal whether you're embarrassed or jumping up and down with happiness, let's bring back the usual suspects and see what they have to say. Right, here are the 4 statements, and next to them are Kyle's answers. Phil, what do you think?
It looks good to me. I think those are the answers that I would have given.
Beth, can you see anything wrong with these answers?
I think D is wrong.
Graham, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
What do you make of these answers?
Unfortunately, I think he's got them all right. I think it's perfection.
Well, bit of a vote of confidence. Well, mostly from the usual suspects. You need to have answered all 4 statements perfectly to have won the round. Let's find out how many are correct. Three out of 4 is not bad, but you know what? It's not perfection. And as a result, you let the usual suspects into the game. They need to change one, but which one?
Okay, Beth, you said about changing D.
Yeah, I mean, I know it begins with an L, but I just don't think it's lunes. I think it's like Lunday or something like that.
It's French.
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
I think it's, if there is anything wrong, it's the Churchill one.
Winds of Change to me is just a song when the Berlin Wall came down, but it might be a Churchill speech as well, but...
Yeah, but I don't think it's attributed to Churchill, though.
No, I think it's more likely to be that one than the others. D sounds right to me, so
Okay.
I think we'll change A from true to false, please, Nick.
A changes from true to false, leaving B, C and D as answered by Kyle. OK, usual suspects, let's find out what the correct answers are. If the statement turns green, it's true. If it turns red, it's false. Churchill gave the famous Winds of Change speech, true or false? It's false. Very well done, usual suspects. It was Harold Macmillan's anti-apartheid speech, in actual fact. Moving on, in rugby union, a conversion is worth 1 point. True or false? Yeah, it's false. A conversion of a try is worth 2 points. A penalty conversion is worth 3 points. Tony Blair's middle name is Lionel. True or false? Yes, that's false. Anthony Charles Linton Blair. And lunes is the Spanish word for Monday. True or false? True. Congratulations, usual suspects. You have achieved perfection. Well, Carl, that means they've succeeded where you failed and they nicked the round from you. Usual suspects, you have an opportunity to make Carl's chances of winning the prize fund a little harder. Carl, appearing before you is your final board. These 6 blank spaces need to be filled with subject categories. Here are your final round category options, starting with 1984, running through Herbs, Khyber Pass and on to capital cities with many more in between. Now, because the usual suspects stole the round from you, they choose the 2 categories, hoping to make the final harder for you to win. So, far away, usual suspects, which 2 do you fancy?
Herbs.
Herbs.
Yeah, definitely Herbs.
Yeah, we'll put Herbs in there.
Herbs goes in, one more.
I'm thinking,
Clones.
I think Gene Hackman. Let's go Gene Hackman.
Gene Hackman.
Lovely, thank you very much. Gene Hackman makes it into the final. Well done, usual suspects. You won the first round. Time to switch you off. We'll see you in round 2. They thought you might not know about herbs.
I actually used to work for a herb growing company in my own polytunnel for a summer, and we had a load of different herbs that I had to pick and plant and whatnot. So that's not too bad.
Gene Hackman?
Gene Hackman, yeah, we'll see what comes up.
OK, so look at that list, and which 2 will you be choosing first?
Definitely capital cities. Then after that, European cuisine or maybe black-eyed peas.
All right, and 2 that you're quite keen to avoid.
Probably maybe go the Khyber Pass and the Kennedys, maybe.
All right, well, Carl, it's only this first round. You still have 2 more rounds to find perfection and choose your own categories for the final. Ready to carry on?
Yep, let's do it.
Let's play round 2. Your 45 seconds start now. In computing, 8 bits make 1 byte.
Yes, they do, that's true.
True. Carrow Road is the home ground of Bristol City.
I know it's a ground somewhere. Bristol, I will go for false.
False. Picasso was famous for his blue period.
I will go for true.
True. And finally, Blackpool is known as the city of arcades.
There's a lot of them there. Yeah, why not? Let's go true.
True. And with time to spare and without frightening me this time, you've answered all 4 statements. Well, how was that?
Well, the first one was good. Carrow Road, I definitely know it's someone. I don't know if it's Bristol or not. Picasso, I've been to a Dali museum, not Picasso, don't really know. And Blackpool, well, there's arcades there, it's not far from Manchester, so yeah, why not?
Well, before we can tell you exactly how well you've done, it's time to have a little chat with the usual suspects again. So these are the 4 statements, and next to them are Kyle's answers. Beth, kick us off this time. What do you think?
I mean, I wouldn't change any of those at all, so I think he's probably got perfection there.
Thank you. Graham?
I'm going to stick with his answers. I can't see anything wrong there.
Phil, can you pick any holes in this for us?
Same for me as well, I'm afraid.
Vote of confidence there from the usual suspects. They
Well,
think you've
hopefully.
pulled it off. Let's find out how many are correct. Three out of 4, Kyle. Close again. But you know what? It's not perfection. And as a result, you let the usual suspects into the game. Again, you only need to change 1, but which one?
A is correct.
Yep.
B is correct, because that's Norwich City.
Right.
Blackpool, I know that they were trying to get casino status, but I've not heard of City of Arcades before.
You'd think it would be, but maybe that's what they're trying to catch you out with. So if I was to change any, that would be the one to change in my eyes.
Picasso, I know he did have his different coloured periods, but I would say that probably Blackpool is the one that I would change.
OK, then we'll go for D from true to false, please.
D changes from true to false, leaving A, B and C as answered by Kyle. OK, usual suspects, let's find out what the correct answers are. In computing, 8 bits make 1 byte. True or false? Yes, true. Everyone was very confident on that one. Carrow Road is the home ground of Bristol City. True or false? It's false. And Phil, who did you say it was?
Norwich City.
Yeah, absolutely right. Picasso was famous for his blue period. True or false? True, so you know what's happening now, don't you? Blackpool is known as the City of Arcades. True or false? It's false. Congratulations, usual suspects. You have achieved perfection. In actual fact, Cardiff is known as the City of Arcades due to its indoor shopping arcades. All right, so, Carl, the usual suspects have succeeded where you failed and they've stolen the round. Usual suspects, you now have an opportunity to make Kyle's chances of winning the prize fund of £2,000 a little harder. Let's see the final board. You're currently in charge of it, having chosen the first two, and you get to choose the next two as well.
What about the Kennedys? They're quite a big family.
Could go for that.
I'm thinking Khyber Pass.
What about Black Eyed Peas?
He's young, isn't he?
Yeah. Should we go for Khyber Pass and the Kennedys then?
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Yeah, we'll go for those two then, please, Nick. Khyber Pass and the Kennedys.
Khyber Pass goes into the final, as does the Kennedys. OK, congratulations, usual suspects. You won the second round. Time to switch you off. We'll see you in round 3. Which did you say you didn't want?
I think it was those two, yeah. This is going well.
Let them in,
Yeah,
you know.
I'm trying, Nick, I'm trying.
They'll make it as difficult as they possibly can.
Yeah.
Listen, 3 out of 4 both times. I think you're in with a real chance here of achieving perfection. You're only just below it at the moment. And with round 3, that's what you've been saving yourself up for, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah. Best till last.
Let's play round 3. Your 45 seconds starts now. Dunlop cheese has a rind made of rubber.
Because of the tyre, I'm going to go false for that one.
False. A rhombus is a 4-sided shape.
Yes, it is. That's true.
True. In the Muppets, Animal played the drums.
I've barely seen the Muppets, actually. Someone played the drums. I'll go true for that one.
True. And finally, René Descartes was a Canadian ice hockey player.
I don't know why. Maybe I'm thinking something more ice-related, but not ice hockey, so I'm going to go false for that one, Nick.
False. And with time to spare, you've answered all 4 statements. Happy with that?
Well, I've got one. Yeah, I know if the Muppets one, they're going to know that if I've got it wrong. The Canadian one, I really don't have any idea. And Dunlop cheese just seemed a bit strange after the tyre, maybe. That would be rubber, but we'll see.
Indeed, we will see as soon as we've had a chat with the usual suspects. So these are the 4 statements, and next to them are Kyle's answers. Graham, you kick us off this time. Can you see anything wrong with them?
I think he's done it. I think he's got perfection there.
You sound slightly depressed about it, Graham.
I am.
And to be fair, earlier, when we were talking about possible choices for him, you said he's young. You said he's slightly depressed about that as well.
I'm 50 this year.
I feel your pain, Graham. I'm past that point already. Beth, what do you think?
Yeah, I think he's got perfection. The only one I have got sort of a hesitant about is D, just because obviously French, Canadian, don't know, he might just be French.
Yeah, interesting point. Phil?
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same opinion, to be honest. It looks good to me, but we thought that in the other rounds as well, so, you know, maybe D is wrong, but, yeah, it looks good.
Carl, the moment of truth, you need to have answered all 4 statements perfectly to have won the round. Let's find out how many are correct. Congratulations, Carl, you have achieved perfection. So let's go through them in more detail. So Dunlop cheese has a rind made of rubber. So we know that is, of course, false. It's a hard Scottish cheese named after the village it comes from.
Right. I really should have known that.
Yeah. A rhombus is a 4-sided shape, true or false? So we now know it is, of course, true. In the Muppets, Animal played the drums, and that is true, with a very flamboyant, aggressive style. René Descartes was a Canadian ice hockey player. You said that was false, and it is false because, of course, he was a French philosopher. Kyle, as a result of that perfect performance, you've made winning the prize fund a lot easier. Let's have a look at your final board, shall we? Fair to say the usual suspects have been winning up until this point, having chosen the first 4, but because of that fantastic performance in round 3, you get to choose the last 2. So far away.
Definitely capital cities.
Capital Cities goes in.
Then Black Eyed Peas.
And Black Eyed Peas goes into the final 2. We now know our 6 final categories. They are Herbs, Gene Hackman, Khyber Pass, the Kennedys, Capital Cities, and Black Eyed Peas. Time to switch off the usual suspects for the last time. We'll see you later. Well, you're in with a chance now, aren't you?
Well, it depends on the questions. I'm glad I got the perfection to get the 2 rounds at the end there.
All right, Carl, for £2,000, time to play the final. Carl, this is the all-important final. If you can achieve perfection, you could be leaving with a prize of under £2,000. If you failed, you'll be leaving with nothing, which would be great news for the usual suspects, as one of them could be playing for a rollover of £3,000 on the next game, and you wouldn't want that to happen, would you?
Of course not, no.
Let's play the final round. Kyle, here are your final 6 categories. Now, you must answer all 6 statements correctly if you want to win the £2,000. Think carefully, there is no time limit, but once you've given an answer, your first answer, it's locked in. Are you ready?
Yep.
Then let's reveal your first statement. Please tell me whether you believe it to be true or false. Herbs. Mentha spicata is the botanical name for spearmint.
Well, menthol obviously is like mint. Spicata sounds potentially Italian. Spear, spicata, could be some type of Latin weapon. Let's go true for that one.
True. Gene Hackman. Gene Hackman appeared in the Poseidon Adventure.
Well, I've heard of the Poseidon Adventure, at least that's a start. Why not? Yeah, let's say true for that one.
True. Khyber Pass. The Khyber Pass is under 1 mile in length.
I've definitely heard of the Khyber Pass. I know you get a lot of the longer passes in the Alps and whatnot that are several miles long. It's obviously quite a famous one, so is it famous maybe because it's shorter? Or maybe it's one of the long ones again. Right, let's go true for that one again.
True. The Kennedys. Robert F. Kennedy was assassinated in 1978.
I'm guessing he's a relation of JFK, hopefully, without sounding stupid. I have no idea and no logic or reasoning, so I'm going to say false for that one.
False. Now we're on to the 2 that you chose for yourself. Capital cities. Lahore is the capital of Burma.
I think Lahore is in Pakistan and not the capital of Burma, so I'm going to say false for that one.
False. And finally, Black Eyed Peas. CeeLo Green is a member of the Black Eyed Peas.
Well, I know this one, thankfully. No, he's not. He used to be in the Niles Barkley duo, but he was never in the Black Eyed Peas, so that is false.
False. And with that, you've answered all 6 statements, and those answers are locked in. Remember, if you've made one single mistake, you go home with nothing. So which ones are you worried about?
Now that I've finished, I'm worried about C, because I'm thinking it probably is in the Alps, and I've probably been through it a few times, and it's probably quite long. Robert F. Kennedy, really no idea about that one. I didn't realise so many of the family were assassinated if he's part of the same Kennedy clan.
All right, let's bring back the usual suspects and see what they have to say. Usual suspects, you can now see the final 6 statements, and next to them are Kyle's answers. Kyle, your answers are locked in and you can't change them by yourself, but if you think you've made a mistake, you can unlock them with the help of the usual suspects. This will, however, come at a cost. So, Kyle, who would you like to hear from first?
Let's hear from Graham, first of all.
How do you think you did?
Yeah, no, I feel reasonably confident. There's just a couple that I'm a bit 50-50 about.
There's a couple that I'm not 100% on, so I'm not prepared to come down, so because I don't think I could help you in any way, and it's not a big fund, so I'm sorry.
OK, so Graham's ruled himself out.
Let's hear from Beth.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm not 100%, and I don't want to really ruin your game as well as mine, really. So I'm going to let the money roll over.
Very honest, Beth. Thank you very much.
Phil?
Yeah, again, there's only 2 that I'm 100% on, so it's probably too risky for both of us, to be honest.
Not a squeak of help there from the usual suspects. However, you might well have actually managed to do it all on your own. £2,000 at stake, 6 answers away. Let's find out if you've achieved perfection. C and D were the ones you were worried about, weren't they? C and D. All right, let's start at the bottom then and go up towards those and see how we do. CeeLo Green is a member of the Black Eyed Peas. This is one you're absolutely sure of. You chose this category yourself. You said that CeeLo Green was a member of Niles Barkley, not a member of the Black Eyed Peas. So you said false. We expect this to turn red. Is it true or false? Yeah, it is false. Very well done. Of course, CeeLo Green went solo after that, but you're right on all those details. Lahore is the capital of Burma. You said this was false. Very confident about this. You thought Lahore was probably Pakistan. We expect this to turn red. Is that true or false? Yes, it is false. Naypyidaw is the capital of Burma, in actual fact. D and C. Let's hop over those, shall we? And go to Gene Hackman appeared in the Poseidon Adventure. You went for true on this one. If this turns green, you are halfway to the £2,000 without the help of the usual suspects. Gene Hackman appeared in the Poseidon Adventure. Is that true or false? It's true. Very well done. Moving up to the top, they chose herbs for you. Mentha spicata is the botanical name for spearmint. You said it sounded right. So you said true. If this turns green, you are now just 2 away from the £2,000. Of course, if it turns red, the money rolls over for the usual suspects. So Mentha spicata is the botanical name for spearmint. Is that true or false? It's true. Well. So we go back to the two that you were most worried about. So go back to D. Robert F. Kennedy was assassinated in 1978. You said this was false. You need this to turn red. If this turns red, you are 1 away from the £2,000. Robert F. Kennedy was assassinated in 1978. Is that true or false? It's false. He died in 1968, and you were getting a little confused with the Kennedys there. Robert F. Kennedy was the brother of JFK, known generally as Bobby Kennedy.
Right, okay, right, yeah.
Let's go up onto the final one you were worried about, the Khyber Pass. Now, you went and ahhed about this. You could have dropped either way, to be fair, couldn't you?
Yeah,
You could have...
now I'm thinking it's false. It's probably quite long, but...
You think?
Yeah.
Weren't quite sure. You've heard of the
Yeah.
Khyber Pass, but you weren't quite sure where it was. Is it under 1 mile in length? You're doubting yourself now. If this turns green, you've won £2,000 without the help of the usual suspects. If it turns red, the money rolls over for the usual suspects, which is what they were relying on. 3 attempts they made to trip you up so far and failed. Is this the 4th attempt that's failed as well in the subjects they chose for you? The Khyber Pass is under 1 mile in length. You said true, you need this to turn green. Is it true or false for £2,000? It's false.
Yeah.
It's around 33 miles long. It's in Afghanistan.
Oh, right, well, I've not been through it then, that's for sure.
Yeah. Kyle, you haven't achieved perfection, but you only got 3 questions wrong
The whole thing, yeah. I
in your
suppose it's not too
entire
bad.
game. So you can be very, very proud of that. Usual suspects, great news for you. The prize fund rolls over to the next game, where one of you could be playing for a total of £3,000. Carl, you failed to achieve perfection, which means you go home with nothing, but I hope you enjoyed the process.
Definitely, it's been brilliant.
Yeah, really enjoyed it?
Yeah, fantastic.
Smashing. Let's hear it for Carl, everybody. Well, that's all we have time for. Please join us next time when our usual suspects have the chance to play again, this time for £3,000. And remember, as we saw in both games, 5 out of 6 just isn't good enough. We only pay for absolute perfection. Goodbye.